say he threw his little girl off a bridge to her death. And now we're finding he may never go to trial for that horrific crime. Two court-appointed doctors declaring in court today that John Johnchuk is mentally incompetent to stand trial.
Yeah, but a final decision hasn't been made yet. It is now up to Johnchuk's defense to either accept the doctor's reports or request a third opinion of that 25-year-old murder suspect. Their decision scheduled to be announced next Monday. After that, it will be up to a judge to decide if the case should go to trial or if Johnchuk should be sent to a psychiatric hospital.
Johnchuk's daughter, 5-year-old Phoebe, drowned in Tampa Bay below the Dick Meisner Bridge last month. Dozens of warning signs popping up in the hours before her death. While DCF is admitting they messed up, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office maintains deputies did everything that they could do to protect her. ABC Action News reporter Jacqueline Ingles explains why deputies say their hands were tied.
He's out of his mind, pretty much. At one point, he said he was grabbed.
Telling signs of a man mentally unraveling. Signs this Tampa attorney brought not only to the attention of authorities, but to Department of Children and Families abuse counselors.
When I want to make sure I told somebody, if something happened to that child, then I have to call somebody.
DCF determining the call did not warrant a follow-up. And Hillsborough County deputies say when they approached John Johnchuk Jr. outside a church on January 7th, the same day his attorney sounded the alarm, he did not meet the criteria to be Baker acted. And they couldn't arrest him even though he was making delusional statements like being related to the Pope.
Sure, that might be a mental health issue, but that doesn't rise to the level I need to be Baker acted.
Under Florida law, an individual can only be Baker acted if it is determined they're going to harm themselves or others. At the time, a deputy trained with the crisis response team questioned Johnchuk, and at no point did he reportedly make any threats to himself, Phoebe, or anyone else. His priest even waiving his right to confidentiality, vouching for Johnchuk. But just 8 hours later, he would throw his own 5-year-old daughter to her death off the Dick Meisner Bridge.
It's not an exact science, and so hindsight's always 20/20, and we can always say that people that are walking down the mall that are talking to themselves might have a mental health issue, but that's certainly not a prediction that they're going to go out and kill somebody.
Could this crime have been stopped? Could any more have been done from a law enforcement standpoint?
There are specific guidelines and rules on what we are required to follow. It's what this legislative body has decided to give us the power to do.
According to McKinnon, the majority of people who are Baker acted, they end up being evaluated by doctors and they're back out on the street the same day, sometimes in less than 6 hours. Now tonight, Pinellas Sheriff Bob Galtieri was in Tallahassee pitching a wholesale change to the Baker Act, and our Edward Lawrence will have more on that tonight at 11.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you. A memorial ride and a scholarship party in honor of Phoebe Johnchuk are planned for the next weekend. The Bikers for Phoebe Memorial Ride will be Sunday, February 22nd at noon. The ride begins at the Porpoise Pub or Peggy's Corral. Riders will then honor her with a flower drop at the rest area on the north end of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. A scholarship fund is also being set up in Phoebe's name. A scholarship benefit party will be held on February 22nd. It will be at the Porpoise Pub on Seminole Boulevard in Clearwater from noon to 8 p.m. There will be live music, raffle prizes, and food, and all proceeds from that benefit party will go directly to the scholarship fund in honor of Phoebe Johnchuk.
All new at 5, a